Hello, welcome to Orphan Espresso. I'm Doug,
I'm Barb.
and we're going to do a series of videos, support videos, for the 2025 Orphan Espresso Smol manual coffee grinder. The first one we're going to do is
Parts.
document 1, parts of the grinder. These documents are available on the website. On the product listing, you can go right to them. This is all the parts, schematic, every one of them down to the smallest screw and washer. Okay, so if you need it, part numbers are there, part names are there. So if you need it, it's there on the website. But what I'm going to do is, here's the parts once again in real life. And although there's really no reason to take the grinder apart to this level, except out of curiosity or for entertainment value. But here it is, broken down pretty much how it would be if you took it apart. Not all the sub-assemblies, but if you broke it down, I can see the possibility that you might want to take the burr and axle out for a more thorough cleaning if you need to, if you feel like you want to. Cleaning is generally accomplished just without disassembling. But here's the parts. This is a hopper assembly that's already has the top and the bottom cap installed. Bottom bearing holder with roller bearing. Top, again, roller bearing. We have the silicone bands installed since they're really tight and they're a bit hard to get on, but it's doable. All this assembly right here, this is part of the adjustment mechanism from the top. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. These are your replacement reference marks that you actually will need down the line once the grinder breaks in. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the grinder together, get some pointers for you. That the first thing we do is talk a little bit about the burr and how we assemble this at the factory. One of the important things, this is the Etzinger hardened steel burr. One of the important things that we do is we match the burrs. It sounds a bit like tennis, but we have to find burr sets that really smoothly fit together.
Well, the two burrs, the cone burr and the ring burr, are manufactured separately, and they're shipped in big boxes. So we take the cone burr and the ring burr, and we find two pieces that make a good pair.
Right, and because of manufacturing tolerances, they don't always fit as smoothly as these two do. But you can always find one down the line by rummaging through all the sets. So this is an important thing, to go ahead and to take the time to make a nice, smooth, matched set. That's kind of step one in the process. Then on this grinder, I took this grinder apart and I marked the orientation of all the parts, okay? On this burr carrier, I put a little blue mark there. And on this part down here, I put a little black mark with a Sharpie. Now, the reason that this is important is that when we assemble these grinders, they go together in a particular way. And I kind of like to think of it as like, it's a harmonious build. You just can't slap them together, and this is once again because of tolerances that you can find. It's not just best fit, it's a matter that it all goes back to the fact that every burr is different. Every burr set is a little different. And because of their manufacturing tolerances. And the way that all of the parts, the relationship to one another, is important to maintain. So there's my marks, okay? This is the burr carrier, the ring burr carrier. This ring burr snaps into this BOM carrier and screws down to the plate, okay? Now, I've those are a little loose. This is my first step. Now, this is our cone burr carrier and axle. Now, once again,
Don't move it. I'm trying to get that pitched. It's really hard to see it.
see that fine thread?
Yeah, I can't get it to come in focus.
Well, the thread is about as fine as you can get.
There, right there.
There.
It's 0.5 millimeter pitch.
Okay, once again, I've marked these two parts because this matters as well. There's 3 possible positions. There's my mark. There's 3 pegs, 3 possible positions.
And when we build them, we find the best possible position during the initial build.
This has to do with the fact that this is a cast piece, lost wax casting, the stainless steel cast. And we can machine certain aspects of it. This surface is machined, and the stem and the thread is machined, but these little nubs, these little drive pins, is very difficult to machine these, to get in there and to make them so precise. Then once again, the position of these 3 holes, this is not a high tight tolerance position. They're just made, okay? Everything else has a tolerance of 0.2 or 0.02 millimeters. But those peg holes is not so much. That's why it matters where it is, okay? So I've marked all my spots, the spring and the little thrust washer. This acts to keep the burr open, particularly on coarser settings, that it's always accurate and it stays open, okay? And also you'll see that it's an aid for assembly. I go ahead and I just slide this through the bearings. Now, this is not tightened down. The ring burr is not tightened down. And here, I simply feel, push this down. This is, the ring burr is free to move. I use the axle and the cone burr as a tool
To position the ring burr.
to position the ring burr. Then snug these down. Okay, just snug, not ultra tight. This is a 2.5. This is the only tool you need. This is a 2.5 millimeter hex, and then I feel it, nice and smooth, no snags or weird drags or anything. Once I've done that, this is also a 2.5 millimeter hex. I can just make sure that they're actually pretty much equal tightness. This is my little torque hand, okay? Now, once I've done this, this is all aligned and it's all put together. I can go ahead and take that out. And conveniently, I can install this piece. This is our jar retainer. It's silicone with a Buna O-ring around it. And all of the segments of this have a function in holding the jar on. Okay, so that's in place. I can put my burr back in. Okay, there we are. And what I'll do now, this is, we're calling this the lock disc, the locking disc, or the big disc.
Let me see the threads on that.
Let me show you.
You can see that there's a blank space and the threads started above that.
This non-threaded area acts as a little guide. So it'll just sit down on the top, and this is to assist the finding the entry for this fine thread. So you just proceed really gently to make sure you have entered the thread properly and you haven't cross-threaded. Once you're sure that you haven't cross-threaded, you just spin this down. bing, stops. That's basically the zero position. It stops at zero just like that, not forced. I can force it, but nope, just stops naturally on that spin, which is kind of a fun thing to do. Now the handle, also has a sub-assembly. The knob shaft has been attached already. There's the screw. This is our reference marks for our adjustment system. So this drops on, and then we have the reference disc.
Which also has the same blank space.
Now, if you habitually remove the handle, this is the one you're going to install and remove a lot. But the handle, I rarely take the handle off, even for travel. You know?
And it fits in the zipper bag without taking the handle off.
Now, I'll go ahead and demonstrate the method of starting. Okay. I need to try to get it there. I've got that cross-threaded because it drags. Now, you don't want to force it. Wiggling it. I think it clicked. You turn it counterclockwise, turn it backwards until it clicks. And many times it's an audible click. You can feel it as much as you hear it. But no wonder things are screwed up. Can you see what I forgot, Barb? I was so busy spinning and
those thrust washers and the needle bearing.
having a good time. Yeah, I was so busy spinning that thing. This is the thrust washer and needle bearing system. Okay. And as you can see,
It sticks up above the surface of the top cap.
about a 1/2 millimeter.
That's so the locking disc rides on top of it.
Gentle, gentle. No, it's cross-threaded. You heard it?
Nice click.
So it turns out that was good. So you can hear the click. Okay, back to that makes a bit more sense. Okay, so again, just very gently. This is all just basic machine practice, machine shop practice. All right, set that up. Zero. That's my zero. Put my jar on. I can put my knob on. And I can put this in the proper orientation. And there we have the Orphan Espresso Smol manual coffee grinder. Next video will be the mini manual setting up and getting started. Thank you.